Welcome to the second part of what is President Tinubu doing. I ended the first video on a note of advice concerning President Tinubu's political family, but this video is not just to address that, it's to address the economic hardship in Nigeria, the governance or lack of it, or whatever the team of this current administration is doing, based on the fact that there's a lot of hardship in the land and that has to be taken care of, and as soon as possible, because people are suffering too much in Nigeria. I said Bill Clinton and his family pulled it off, that Bill Clinton was a governor in the state of Arkansas, became president. His wife was a senator multiple times, and she also was a Secretary of State, and also she became the presidential candidate for their party. And she not just was a female presidential candidate, she won the popular votes in that election. That's how popular she was. She was presented by the Democratic Party, for a lady whose husband has been president 2 times and the governor of a state before. She did not only contest for president, but she won the popular votes, and that will go down in history. The only thing is that she lost on the electoral college side. That's why she wasn't installed president. She lost that position by whiskers. If it was Nigeria, okay, it's actually supposed to be 12 to what is it, 12 to 3 right now? What is the formula? All right, let's leave it at that. People might be quick to say, I'm talking about your political dynasty and your wife. Sir, I'm not a politician. You have all the apparatus to check me out. I have never belonged to any political party in Nigeria. I am not a mouthpiece. I'm not representing anybody. I am just speaking to you from my heart, because I'm watching the way things are going. I want you to focus on governance and get the best for Nigeria in the next 2 years and 4 months of your administration. People might be quick to say that some things that are happening, maybe your wife being a senator, your son wanting to be a governor, cannot happen in America or any developed country. You know, as our people they will say it cannot happen in other insane climes, and that's very hurting. It's hurtful to me as a Nigerian, because I'm living in America and we are not insane here. And when I'm living in Nigeria, I'm not insane in Nigeria. When they say saner climes, are we insane in Nigeria? We are not, and people should stop using that that language. Recently, I hosted a guest on my program who said that what did he even say? That when we use the word typical Nigerian, that's not nice, and we should stop saying it, because what follows is usually negative, things, negative statements and connotations. And why should we associate the word typical Nigerian with everything negative? Nothing positive comes at the back of, typical Nigerians. So I know that it is not impossible, and it happens. If people say that your son cannot be president, I am not saying he cannot be president. I'm just saying, let Lagos breathe. Don't let it look like you're taking the people of Lagos for granted, because there are a lot of materials in Lagos. That does not disenfranchise your son, but I know a reason. You will see my reason for saying let him back up. Maybe sometimes in future he might try. Right now, the mood of the country or Lagos itself is not ready for a Tinubu son's governor. I'm not sponsored. I have my 9 to 5 job. I don't have any political affiliation whatsoever. All right, I know why I'm saying this. You are a kingmaker, sir. You pulled it off with mommy Remi Tinubu, or auntie. I know you are like a daddy to me. Auntie Remi will be like a big sister. She'll be like aunt. But you need to consider it deeply. Let your son remain a power broker in Lagos, a kingmaker like you, in the back end of things, if at all, is going to be in the political space, because he is already there. I know you need some political power and clout to protect your legacy when you are retired and you are no more on the political scene, and you have to consolidate your son's position and influence. But for the avoidance of doubt, Babami, I am not your hater and I don't belong again, I'm saying, to any political party. I'm a Nigerian who belongs to both the United States fully and Nigeria fully. I belong to both places equally. That's all my modest credential. If you get what I mean, you can read my lips. I don't want to break it down more than that. I don't have any political affiliation. My Nigerian voters card has expired, so I may not even be able to vote in Nigerian elections unless you also help us. Let me use this opportunity to ask you to please help us, we people that are in diaspora. Help us to fix the aspect of diaspora voting. Please get it up and running. What is the name of this man? Is it Ojo? Who is that our minister who was doing some things right and some right things with the correction center? Minister of Interior. Please. You are Minister of Interior. Who is Minister of Exterior? Please help us to get that one up and running. Diaspora voting. We'll be very grateful for it. Back to, I've given you my recommendation. Let your son be a power broker. Nobody can take that political dynasty away. You guys can at least wield your influence behind the scene. Okay, I'll still give you more recommendations later. But let me speak on the economy. Why I said, what is President Tinubu doing? Let's get back to the economics of things. You need to give your administration a human face, Daddy. Sir, please. You are a very courageous man. You have proven it over and over. And me, no matter what anybody says, I think you have proven in the past that you are a fantastic administrator. But the impact of how fantastic you are is yet to be seen in this your current presidency. We saw it in Lagos. But right now, we are not feeling you, sir. It's either your so-called team is failing you, or you are being careful not to step on more toes because you have stepped on toes already. But maybe you are not ready to step on toes of power brokers. That's what's keeping you constrained. And you know what can keep you constrained again? I also said you should please not. I can't tell you what to do. This is my advice. You may use it and you may dump it. You might just ignore me that, what's this one saying? Maybe I'm high on something. For information, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I have never smoked all of my life. I'm not claiming to be righteous. I'm just fortunate to listen to my father. So I'm not high on anything. If you are looking for a second term, sir, you will not be able to take certain decisions because you want to be politically correct and you will continue to be constrained. Somehow, some people say you don't know what the issues are. Maybe there was some miscalculation, or maybe there wasn't enough information by the time you were contesting or taking over. But you have seen a lot since you got into that position, and the rot is so bad that you and your team, you can't even speak out because you do not want to shoot yourselves in the leg because it's APC to APC. There are people in the country that are still walking free, that people would have thought that the moment that you took over, you're going to bring them to book, except for the central bank, governor, that the government, I don't want to personalize that, your government is, trying in the court. How many of the people from the Minister of Justice in the past administration and a lot of people who surrounded the president, some of them without portfolio, some of them with portfolio that really rode, how will I put it? They rode roughshod on Nigerians, and they are still there. Nobody's calling them to book. Just like what Buhari did when he brought, I should not forget this man's name, Dasuki, and Olisametu, and a lot of functionaries in the previous Jonathan administration. The same way they brought them to book, we didn't see that happen. And it's not as if you don't know, but because maybe it's because APC to APC, even Gandola, Baba Gandola, is the chairman of your party now, but we know how those things work. I don't want to believe that you and your team don't know or understand what the issues are, sir. If you do not, and your team don't, please ask a random guy on the street. You don't have to come down from your high horse. You can just send, any of your lieutenants, or you listen to what people are saying. I know some people who are into blogs and they just want to be hyperbolic, and they just, maybe for profit reasons. My channel is not monetized, at least today. It's just a new channel. I just came out and I have my daytime job, but I feel part of what brought me here is I feel impassioned concerning Nigeria, and I know that Nigeria is fixable. There's hope for Nigeria. It's not going to be a quick fix, But we have to start from revaluing the country. We have to change our value system. The biggest problem Nigeria is having right now is the value system. The value has been turned upside down. If we fix our value system, then we can fix our institutions. If we fix our institutions, then we can fix every other thing. You know, it's not the other way around. We have to build bottom up, not from up to down. We have to build this way. You don't need any consultant or analyst to tell you what I'm telling you, because they will give you report in this highly calibrated and high sounding reverberating political jargons of English and Latin, and they will bamboozle you and bamboozle the rest of us with all those high sounding grammar. Like a man that was supposed to say my house is on fire, and that joke says, he said conflagration is consuming my domicile, and the firefighters did not even understand. Conflagration is consuming my domicile. And as he kept saying that the house was burning, we don't want all those big English jargon. Pick a random Nigerian from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south, from the south, from the middle belt. They will tell you, even if they have to say it in pidgin, if they don't even understand English, you don't need any consultant from abroad or any local management consultant or political consultant. People will say it to you in pidgin. Papa, we dey hungry. President, we dey hungry. Yoruba will say ebim power. Yoruba will say enungbe. Everybody will tell you we are hungry. Even Isha will say ohamegbeme. I am hungry. We are hungry. Sir, the whole country is singing from the same hymn book concerning the hardship of the country. Sir, things are tough. Oh. You can't imagine it because you are high up there and you are surrounded by people that are high and they are looking nice, they are looking fresh, they are looking clean and neat every day. If you can use the analogy that 70,000 naira cannot buy a bag of rice, that is enough to tell you that we are in trouble. Sir, we now use our money to buy money at POS. Sir, what is your team doing? We don't expect you. It's not a one-man show. Where is that team, sir? Because a lot of people had expectation that when you were taking over, people were talking, about all those kind of branding, Lagos boys, Lagos boys, Lagos boys. Lagos is a code for show now. Lagos has always been like associated. When you say Lagos, it's like the New York of Nigeria. It's just like the Las Vegas. It's just like what do we say now? It's just like the big places that they mention abroad, especially in America. That is where it is happening, and they think that the brains that can fix things and make things to work in Lagos, they are going to turn Nigeria around. So, a lot of people voted for you. Forget all the social media noise. I know the numbers might have been manipulated, but at least whether you won or you won again, people voted for you. Sir, a lot of people had hope. You said renewed hope. They believed that among the materials that were available, that you had something to offer. Why? Because of the Lagos, even though people are trying to disprove the Lagos, whatever people are celebrating about the Lagos results. Sir, we use money to buy money at POS now. It didn't start during your regime, but your regime has not fixed it with all Cardoso is doing at the central bank. That's a separate topic for another day. I'll be treating it very soon. The bank sells the money to us as a people. They sell to us for a fee on the streets through their cronies. Most of those POS businesses, they are run by bank people, bank managers, bank handlers, bank staffs. And they have a lot of them all over the place. And that is why we are never getting cash at the desk in the banks. All those needs to be fixed ASAP. Because it looks like that has come to stay now. That is supposed to be supplementary for places where they don't have banks. It's not supposed to be the order of the day in the mainstream of banking. And going to bank is like a death sentence. The queue, the pressure, and the amount you can get from the counter is limited. A human face. Daddy Tinubu may not hear this by himself, but you, his people, please, just take a nap, sleep like real men, and out of the goodness of your heart, you can do it, people. Try and do something good that Nigerians can smile about, not pursuing what is not missing. It's okay to remove subsidy. Let me address that. You and Peterobi and Atiku, Tiraki Adamawa, Sanu, Baba, San, Yaya De, Papa. Yaya Ike. You were the leading contestants in the last election. You promised us. It was part of your campaign, all of you, because you saw that it was just a drain pipe. It was just a hole in the pocket of Nigeria. But that slip of tongue that you made on your inauguration day ruined your administration's chances of shining, like you did in Lagos. Because from the moment you made that announcement, things fell apart. Nigeria has not remained the same again. Nigeria has not ever seen the kind of downward slide that we saw in our economic situation, because the ripple effect is still being felt today. That's what jumped, that it pushed our money from 750 to a naira, pushed it to as high as $1,900. It was, in fact, you try self that you are able to even stabilize things. But the stability is not what we are looking at. We are looking at where we are coming from. We are benchmarking it with what it was before you took over. It robs all the good things that what would they say? Kudos that you got for all the work you did in Lagos. The moment you announce that subsidy, it's like you pulled the rug from off the feet of Nigerians. Though it is something that needs to be done, but there was no framework in place. There were no cushion. There were no shock absorbers. Like Chino Achebe's book. From that moment, sir, that is where the worst, apart from the fact that you met a kind of country in limbo, we all know. Buhari did not, the damage was just too much. Don't let me go into that. Things fell apart and our lives have not been the same, sir. And it will never be the same. We just want a change that will take us on the path of correction. No matter how far someone has traveled on a long road, at least we can make a U-turn. That statement of that day, the exchange rate policy, that subsidy removal, some people are using that to say that it seems you, sir, are not prepared for the presidency. And all you wanted to do was to achieve your life ambition of becoming president. I disagree with that. Because when you look at it, what more could make somebody prepare for an office who had been a senator and later became a governor for 2 times, and you successfully installed your own, at least you supported candidates that have taken Lagos from one height to the other and sustained the progress, and you installed an unpopular president for 2 times or 5 years after giving Lagos the role model template of governance, which other states and countries emulate to today, which some countries come to understudy, and which some states go on industrial attachment to Lagos to go and learn some governance things in Lagos, like LASMA, like the FEMA, the kind of environmental thing. There's a lot of things that is first in Nigeria that you did, and they are going to Lagos to learn. You fought hard against, like I said, the establishment of your own party to win a keenly contested election against other parties and against the movement of youth, a coalition of strong netizens. You won against all odds, against all political interests and alignments. Sir, that makes me to say that, Babami, you were prepared. Sir, Babami, Tegonloku, you were prepared. So, sir, if you are prepared, that speech that day, when you look back at it, when students of politics and students of history look back, sometimes in the future to come, this is the future of last year, sir. This year is the future of last year. It's even the future of the year before, which is 2023 when you took over, sir. When they look at this ailing economy and the weak Nigeria that policy has bequeathed to us, Nigeria that was already on autopilot, sir, those policies landed us on our faces. We broke our nose. You know where we are now, sir? We are on life support. Yeah. People do say you have courage. I agree. It takes a man to make some decisions that you have made, even as governor, not to talk of president. But courage is not always the absence of fear. I'll come back to that. You proved that courage by coming against the military government during the Nadeko days. Even when you were so confronted with a roadblock, a firewall during the election, the Emilokon episode proved that you know what you are doing. You have courage and you went ahead to win the presidency. But sir, again, the philosophers say courage is not the absence of fear. That you needed to take that decision also called for the fact that you needed to have at least strategized around it. Yoruba says moja mosa, baba no le ma palo wipe moja mosa la ma ki konjulogun. Moja kini there had to be a balance. It needed to be strategic. Subsidy had to go, yes. You needed to make the bold decision, yes sir. You worked in the oil company. From what I heard, you worked with Mobile. When people just say things about you, I wonder why are they closing their eyes to the fact. You needed to take the right and the bold step. But sir, you could have settled in a bit and seen more insight of what was on ground at the time you took over. You could have gotten your eggheads together in one room, crunch the numbers, look at all the parameters to, the issue, do a parsimonious analysis, work with empirical evidence, sir. You could have done that before making that final announcement. Our exchange rate has not been the same since then. Our fuel, even though we are producing within the country, Dangote is producing. See all the battle between in the back and forth, reduction of price today, hiring of raising the price tomorrow of the gas. Look at the currency. 750 when you took over to 1550 as of today, 1550, 1600. And I hear that the current budget is benchmarked at 1500. That means that there is no hope of that money crashing lower. That is the threshold. Sir, my advice is that it's not too late. Fix the hunger issue, sir. It is very doable for you and your team if they are serious. You know you need this team to win. You can't do it alone. Even in the best of your youthful energy and your days and your wisdom, you need that whatever team. But it's doable. It's not rocket science. Arrest this inflation crisis, sir. Fix the security. It's doable. The security issues, you see, that is the hypocrisy of government. The security issues have been identified in the public. There are people who have had the courage to say this is how the problem started, this is how the problem festered, and this is how the problem actually got out of hand. And they have made recommendations. Now, government to government is just as if the government knows what the issues are, but they don't want to fix it. What is the leadership of Nigeria afraid of? People have talked about different angles to it, foreign mercenaries. They have talked about how some powers benefit from the instability in Nigeria. They have talked about how the arms got to these people, how they infiltrated Nigeria, how some things escalated from local politics. These same politicians, right from that Navy captain, something who was, I've forgotten his name, a lot of people have come out. Ordinary citizens who understand what the issues are, and some people who are players. That security is fixable. It's not an overnight thing. There was a time we were expecting, when they bring the Tucano jets, when they bring all this MRAV, when they bring MRAV, whatever. We have the Tucano. We have the MRAV. Sorry, I may not know the pronunciation of that thing. What is happening? The farmers' headers crashes. One would have thought that with the creation of the Ministry of Livestock and whatever, sir, it is amazing to me that really, really, really respects you in administration that you will create more ministries at a time that we are supposed to be doing cost control as a chartered accountant, sir. That we, just because of political balance, we had more ministers. And when you know that bureaucracy is, we have to fund that bureaucracy. It was one of the early shocks that I received. Instead of streamlining, instead of following. Anyway, I think your comment came up later to streamline, but I don't think that side is tidy. Sir, I love my country. I pray for Nigeria and all the leaders, starting from you. And I hope you will let the prayers of Nigerians work. Sir, Nigerians are praying, but we need your team. Sir, you have a lot of funny people working in as with due regards to the totality of legislature, but it looks like people are conspiratorially silent when they benefit. You know, when those jeeps were being shared during the period that, you know, the National Assembly was inaugurated, how they changed cars and everything. Some of those things are very, very funny, you know, and you see some of the proceedings just like some people having fun, and they're just cracking jokes and as if there's nothing serious work to do, and they talk down the rest of us, and they seem not to care. They may not even, if people can do that on TV, what would they do with the levity with which they run the show? That's why I see people, look at people who are believing in parties. We saw people from who won on the road on the wings of some political parties, and they got there. All of them were collecting cars. Nobody talked. Only one or two people, maybe Rufai's son and some other people. A few people talked. Some of them have even cross-carpeted from some of those parties that looks to be the solution, and some of them have blended. They have just lost their identity in the house. You can't say, okay, this is what they are standing out to do, or any of them rejecting the goodies of the house. Their statuses have changed. Sir, let the people working with you be sincere and bring what the issues are to you. This tokenism of sharing rice, sharing this. How many people can you share rice to? People are dying, stampeding themselves, dying when they want to auction rice at customs. You heard what happened in Ibadan when people were doing giveaway. It happened in Abuja same week. It happened in Anambra same week. Baba Tinubu, people are hungry, sir. Ebi ipò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ náà àgbàlagbà náà lẹni tí bí bá ti kúrò nínú iṣẹ́ bó ṣe bàbá ẹ ṣàánú ìlú yìí, ẹ ṣàánú wa, ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn. People are suffering. Success without a successor is said to be failure. We can't even say you and your team are succeeding right now like you did in Lagos. The myth and the hype of Lagos and Lagos boys has been demystified. Your administration right now is a bubble buster. It has busted the bubble of, you know, that Lagos, you know, kind of magic. We all know the 8-year game of presidency. You understand? It is hard to wrestle government from the power that be due to the power of incumbency. But you have the right to run in the next election, sir. But with the political structure that you already have and you are consolidating on, please don't focus on power or re-election. Sir, don't be deceived, sir. If you really want to bequeath a legacy to Nigeria, look for a brilliant administrator. You see, I told you in part 1 that I was going to give recommendations. You look for a good administrator, a brilliant member of your party who can run in your place. I'm not saying you should remote control anybody, but there are kingmakers everywhere. The same way, just like you identified the genius in your chief of staff then, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, who is an administrator par excellence or administrator par excellence. He proved all the cynics wrong because he was an unknown face, but he came out with a superlative performance in Lagos. Sir, that is internally within your party. Don't forget that people are going to contest against you in other parties. I'm saying as our president, I can talk to you because you are having the reins of power in your hands. I'm saying, sir, you see what happened? I'm not asking you to handpick somebody to be the running the candidate for your party. But I'm saying you as a person, lay back, use that, that super wisdom that you have always won with. Stay on the back and see who can do the job and give him your backing. I'm not asking you to handpick. And that does not mean that you present a candidate and that candidate will win. It's not automatic. They have to come to the ballot and people of Nigeria will decide. They will contest against other parties and other electors and other candidates. What I'm saying is, sir, please allow a free and fair, primaries in your party when the time comes, based on your party parameters. Because I'm saying she should not run in Lagos, and you too, sir, please, if you really love Nigeria, you want Nigeria to move forward, sir, do your best to support a good candidate from your party that can take this country to the next level. If you are the one that we are going to rely on for the next one, sir, it's going to be a lot of pressure and a lot of burden on you. You have worked so hard, sir. It's time to use that wisdom of the elders to actually support people like you did with Fashola in Lagos, like you did with Ambody. Those are brilliant administrators. If at all your party will win, but at least to present them as candidates while you laid back and retire and, just enjoy your retirement and just be an elder statesman. Whatever the parameters of your party will be in the next election for zoning or not zoning, let the best man from your party get the job and do the job while you retire peacefully and see the inside of things in your party from outside. Because sometimes when you're looking from outside, you are able to see what the people inside cannot see, and use that as cutting edge and winning wisdom to beat your opponent hands down, hopefully in the next election. Put a man on the seat, with a man with the physical natural energy. Sir, it's not your fault that you are your age in your 70s. It is not your fault. It is just by natural evolution of man that your age is counting and you are growing older. But please, sir, you do all you can to bring someone who, like I said, I said success without a successor, I say it's failure. The same way you had that succession plan in Lagos. I'm not saying you alone have the power to bequeath the next president to Nigeria, but you as a person, you will do the country better service by looking through your material, the ones available in your party, who can do the job, who has that intellectual, mental, administrative, political, and all parameters of credentials of a party man to do the job of running for Nigeria. Because if you are still looking at these 8 years ahead of you, two things you can run, but the problem is that it will hinder you from taking the actions that will deliver and liberate Nigeria. And you are a strategist, and you are an intellectual, you are someone who I know wants to leave a lasting legacy for generations. Because you said you are, when you first came to us, you were just like the new version of our Baba, Grandpa Awolowo, Obafemi Oyeniyi Awolowo. And people saw that Awoist in you. And that's why they voted for you. And you want to leave such legacies for the next coming generation, for this country. Please, sir, learn from the recent American election. Yeah, Joe Biden waited till the last minute and see what happened. The table flipped against his party, against himself. And you know what? An almost impossible candidate with all odds against him, who has been tried in courts and was facing a lot of judicial, battle and, negative public, whatever, won the election. Not because he's super like that, but he could read the tides. He knows that Biden as a candidate, no matter what, did not stand a chance if they go to the field and talk to the people, to the electorates. And he pulled it off. They read the mood very well. And you see how the party queued up behind our current president, President Donald Trump. Because the Democrats lost from the moment they couldn't hold a credible primary, sir, to select their party candidate. You saw the hush-hush kind of adoption they did for Vice President Kamala Harris. So it's not only that President Trump actually won, it's much of the fact that the Democrats lost that election up front, even before the first ballot was cast. I hope this gets to you, Babami, Akombi, Omolodo De, Jagaban, Bibiri Oshefora, Aṣíwájú gbogbo Nàìjíríà ti dé tòkó. Mo ti ní bóyá kàn pé ní ẹbọra òṣèlú ni, bóyá ẹ̀wìn ni. Baba, mo mọ̀ pé you are not a traditional ruler, but ẹ̀yin ọba ní láyé yín tó ń gbà dọ̀bálẹ̀ ọba. Àìmọye ọba tó ń máa dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún yín secret. So daddy, ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe kábíyèsí sá o. Kábíyèsí o. We don't have another country. People of Nigeria, things seems rough now. They are actually rough. But a lot of civilizations globally have gone through moments like this and they came out better. But they did not just come out, they came out by critical thinking and coalescing around the same goal. A common goal, a common vision, not by fighting among themselves and name calling and finger pointing. For all my generation and younger and older ones, please team up to let's always look at what we can do to move the nation forward, not how to fight each other. These politicians, they are laughing at the rest of us. Oyimbos came, the colonialists came, the slave masters came, they did the divide and rule for us. We by ourselves are dividing and ruling and dividing ourselves and ruling ourselves, ruling ourselves in these days of social media. That makes it even worse. We are hating on people you have never met. You are cursing people out that you are just neighbors, and we are still, nobody's going to run away for anybody. We shall overcome these times, Nigerians. It's not going to be an easy fix. We pray it's going to be peaceful, it's going to be bloodless, because change, just like the scripture says, all the days of my life will I wait till my change come. Our change is near us if only we will be calm and not be violent. I know that not everybody thinks to the same way, or think right, or think, in the same direction. There are people that they just want to take things, they want things to happen in a different way. People that are invading the lands of others, and people that are not patient. Let's leave party politics and sympathize with ourselves first. Look at the hunger. Doesn't know Igbo, it doesn't know Yoruba, it doesn't know Hausa, it doesn't know Tiv, it doesn't know Kanuri, it doesn't know Nupe, it doesn't know Igala, it doesn't know Ogoja, it doesn't know Ugep, it doesn't know Urobo, it doesn't know Ijo, it doesn't know tribes. Whatever idea or contributions you think can help to make things easier and better, please, in the interest of Nigeria, I have given some propositions concerning, because if president is going to run a second time by his age and what some other parameters I've enumerated, it might not be the best way to go, even though he has the right, and it might happen if he really wants to do it. If he could do it one, he can do it again, especially with incumbency. And we don't want a president that will be like a figurehead. You see what happened in some cases, in the past cases in Nigeria. I want a president that will be happy, will be thankful to him. So please, guys, especially this young generation, all the keyboard warriors, I'm begging you. We can disagree without being disagreeable. Please, in the interest of the only Nigeria that we have, please, let's all rise up in patriotism. I know some people don't want to hear this as if there will be no fix. My friend, don't let me go there. You don't have a second country. Even those people that have dual citizenship, East and West, home is still the best. They are still, if Nigeria, if there's semblance of security, you will see how many, just security alone, Baba. Tinubu, I'm back to you, Ashwaju. If you fix security alone and nobody is invading people's land, you will see how people will come from abroad and establish farms. People in Nigeria will establish farms, there will be abundance of food. If they can be guaranteed, there will be abundance of livestock. If there's guaranteed that all this kidnapping wave and all this kind of random killing stop, a lot of people in diaspora, they want to return, but they be like, because we have had some people return and they didn't go well. Sir, please help us fix this country. I see some power things, 5,000 megawatts. It's just like, are we clowns? Are you effing kidding me? We are celebrating mediocrity. For your government in 1999, you had that Emron, was it Emron, that power project in Ikodu, Baba? What happened, sir? What happened? Where is your team? I'm supposed to be rounding up, but a lot of things are coming to my mind. I know people like the previous government, they just blocked your path, and that project did not see the light of day. Probably Lagos would have been supplying his own light, and there are some pockets of 5,000 megawatts. And the power grid is shutting down. So Nigeria is fixable. Diaspora alone remitted 26 billion, if I'm correct. If I'm not, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Last year alone, and year before, it's always 20-something billion per annum. There's more. Sir, that one is just, random remittances. You think if people want to bring money in, and they have the assurance that the atmosphere is stable and conducive in Nigeria, you want to imagine how much they will bring in? Sir, If they were sending that one, they are just sending it like, okay, to support people at home and to do projects. If they want to come and establish business, so they are not going to send 26 billion. If you want 260 billion, they will send 260 billion. If you want, how much is 1,000 billion? That's 1 billion, 1 trillion. They will say they can bring in $1 trillion. Trust me, Nigerians are everywhere. I'm living in America. I'm talking to you from America, sir. It's doable. But they are keeping the money because they have their hearts to their mouth. They can't even come and spend. Some people are even afraid to travel. Sir, we have the expertise, we have the men, we have the manpower, we have the people in every sphere of human endeavor. We are a guest came on this program recently. You can check the interviews on this channel. He said that they are the IT people that is keeping UK running, that if Nigerians leave UK, the IT system, apparatus, everything, the infrastructure will crash. The same America, yeah, we do have a lot of other nationals that are keeping the American technology, IT infrastructure up, but Nigerians are killing it here, sir. They are killing it everywhere in the world. Let us leave our hurts and our pains, people, and back to us Nigerians now, and our bickering and tribalism. Nigeria is on life support now. We need to join hands together and save the ship of our country from sinking. We can't say because the country's ship is sinking and we are annoyed with one another and all we want to do is that the ship should sink, and if it sinks we will all sink with it, and we should not sink with it because we are wiser than that. We cannot finish all the conversation in one conversation. Thank you all, and I'll see you on the next one.